Here is part two. Um, so we're continuing our discussion on Carlee Russell. The press conference was very interesting because I've never saw a police department be so subtle and so not subtle all at the same time. Like, when the press was asking questions, they were like, is there a threat? Is this person still out there? The officer, the investigator, was basically like, nope, no threat. And I was like, oh, oh. Um, he was pretty stern in the fact that, like, they really think that she was lying. They really know she was lying. We'll say that. Because they tracked her phone. This was the other thing. This was the other big bombshell in the press conference, was they tracked her phone and she had searched some things. Basically how do you do an Amber Alert? Does it cost money to do an Amber Alert? Age restrictions on Amber Alerts. Also, a lot of different searches, like for the movie Taken, how to steal money from a cash register. So they, I think, believe that there was forethought here, that there was some planning behind this whole thing. I'm just disappointed. I really am. I'm disappointed that this is happening because it's taking away so much attention from actual people that need the help. I am going to write and maybe do a episode on some people that are missing in Alabama that actually need our attention. I don't have the names and the cases right now because I am live in a parking lot in my car. But I want to start bringing attention to other cases out there, because this case, I don't want it to be one of those things where we stop believing women, especially women of color, when stuff like this happens. I will never be ashamed or feel bad or feel guilty for believing a victim. But this kind of made us all look a little dumb. It really did. Because we put all of this manpower, all of this attention into someone who wasn't really a victim. That is if the police are correct. We wasted a lot of time and energy putting resources into Carlee Russell's disappearance when we could have been doing other things. And that's really, really sad, because there's a lot of missing people, especially missing people of color, who go unnoticed. And I can rant on this all day, every day, and who knows if the powers at be will hear. But I said in my last video about Rudy, I said, I hope that this doesn't start happening where there's false reporting to get famous. I mean, if you search her name, all of these articles come up. TikTok's blowing up about her. YouTube is blowing up about her. She has now got some sort of fame for pretending to be missing. And that is really, really sad. Unfortunately, I think that this isn't gonna be the last case of this. But I was watching some TikToks on it last night, and people were really upset that they believed her and that they put all of this, their time and their energy, into this Carlee Russell case, and then she's not really missing. And I just wish that we would all put that manpower into cases that people have been missing for years and years and years and years. I also hope that this doesn't stop people from reporting, because I saw a lot of people say and put out there that this isn't a tactic of sex traffickers to say that or put a child on the side of the road, or say that there's a child on the side of the road to try to get women to stop and help. But I don't know why it wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know all their tactics. We don't know what they're doing to try to kidnap women or take women or whatever. I don't want women to put themselves in a position where they're going to get hurt, and no one believe them because of this story. I also don't want people to stop reporting children on the side of the road because they're like, oh, well, it's not real. It's this whole big thing now that, come on, guys, like, this one false report spiraled into this huge thing that it shouldn't have been. And what's interesting, I'll be interested to see what she thinks and what she says, and what her explanation for everything was, where she was during that time. It may come out and it may not. We don't really know. We'll see, I guess. But what a trippy case. What just sad that this has come to this. Sad. What are your guys' opinions on the Carlee Russell case? I really hope that, I don't know, I just hope that we put some manpower into finding other people that really need to be found out there. Because this is just not okay. Anyway, moving on. I did want to let you guys know that we will be back soon. I am writing a bunch of cases right now, researching a lot, putting all of my time into true crime, while I have the time. But I've got some really good cases, some really interesting stories, but also important stories coming up. I've been doing a little bit more lives. I did a live the other day. I'm doing a live now. I am going to start jumping on and talking about these big cases, because I think that having your guys' interaction is really cool. I love talking with you. I love sharing your opinions and seeing your opinions. The other day when I did the Gilgo Beach news update, it was really cool to hear your guys' opinions, and you guys brought some information to me that I had forgotten about. So I really, really like that. I will be more prepared next live. I just wanted to talk about Carlee because I had watched the press conference last night, and I was just upset. You know? You know when you just get to where you're just like, your blood's boiling, because I really believed her. I really did. I was like, you know, maybe we're gonna hear more. I don't know. My blood was just boiling. You know? Just boiling. But yeah, it's gonna be kind of interesting to go from here. So as far as new cases, what do you guys want to hear about? What do you guys want to see? I love doing the podcast. It has been really fun. It's been interesting to do cases that are bigger. Like the Casey Anthony case was probably one of our biggest for the podcast, and why it has to be Casey Anthony, I don't know, but I want to start doing some bigger cases that you guys can have some opinions on, as well as some of the other ones. Because what did you guys think of Phoebe Handsjack? That case was the coolest to write. I got to come at it from really cool different angles. So I hope you guys liked that one. Phoebe Handsjack was one that I had on my mind forever. And I wanted to research it so bad because I had kind of consumed all that I could consume about Phoebe Handsjack. So when I decided to write it, I was really excited to come at it from a different angle and share with you guys some just more interesting facts about the case. I know a lot of people kind of are back and forth on that case, on what they think. If she was an accident or what. I'm trying to watch my P's and Q's on lives, but it's so hard because when you get to talking, you just get talking about true crime. And you say words and you're like, wait a second, oops. So trying to watch what I say, but it's really, really hard. Yeah. So what have you guys been listening to? What have you been consuming as far as true crime? Right now, like as we speak, as I drove here to this spot, I was listening to True Crime Obsessed, which I like them. I think that they do a really good job at the words that they use, the stories that they do tell. I know with some people they're like, a comedy true crime podcast, like what is that? And they think, oh, are they making fun of the victim? And with some of these podcasts, no, we're making fun of the perpetrator. It's a good word. The perpetrator more than like ever than the victim. We're highlighting the victim. We're highlighting the victim stories. We are giving a big finger, as you would say, to the perpetrator. And they do it in a really good way. So I'm listening to the case of the girl behind the Amber Alert, which I'd known the story. I also listened to it on Crime Junkie. But this one was really interesting because I didn't know the documentary crew. was there. And so that's kind of an interesting little twist on it. So I'm listening to that right now. I listen to True Crime Obsessed a lot. I listen to Crime Junkie. I've not been listening to Morbid as much because I just haven't been as interested in their stories. I love Morbid, don't get me wrong, but they just haven't been capturing my attention like they used to. So, coming up on Code 187, I do want to say I have a really, really good local case coming up that I researched. It'll probably be the next one. We're trying to figure out when to record right now. There's a lot of life things happening, but it's a Kansas City case. A young girl who went missing and was found deceased. And it is unsolved, and it has been on my mind since I started this podcast and even before. I have been interested in this case. I was given this case way before I even had the podcast, when I was just a YouTube channel, when I was just putting out stories that were more Kansas cases and Kansas City cases. That one is going to be really good. The reason I wanted to do that case was because I wanted to do like a bigger format. I wanted to do a documentary. It has been my dream to do a documentary. I wanted to do this, but I just don't have the resources, the time, anything to put into doing a full-length movie almost, or series, or whatever that's documentary style. So I kind of held off on writing this particular story until I had those resources, and they never came. And so I am jumping back into doing some stories that I've just been holding off on, and I don't think that's right, in my opinion, to do that, to hold off on a story just because I want to tell it bigger. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that I can jump back into these stories and actually tell them. Maybe later on I'll be able to do a bigger format type of thing. But right now, this is kind of where I am. And sometimes I can't even keep up with the podcast that we have and the YouTube channel that we have. And I apologize on that. Life gets in the way. It really does. But I appreciate the people who have stuck with me, been with me from the beginning. I know there's quite a few people who have listened to me since I started my YouTube channel. Another thing that I want to do is kind of remaster some of the old stories. I know that I think it was like my second story or my third story, I did the Carr Brothers case out of Wichita, Kansas. It was very near and close, and I knew a lot about it. I want to remaster that story. I want to go in, I want to rewrite it. I want to do it for the podcast and do it for the YouTube channel and do it bigger. And so that's hopefully coming up in the future. That's going to be a little bit, because, but I want to remaster some of those old cases. Maybe go back and do, some of the older ones that maybe I couldn't put as much time into, but that I really want to get out there. So that's coming up. Like I said, though, I want to take this channel to somewhere bigger and better. It's just resources and time. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So yeah. I have the podcast that I do. Right now my co-host is Drew. And we do those. We try to put them out every Tuesday, but lately it's been sporadic. I am wanting to do more lives because I really like connecting with you guys and seeing you guys and getting to talk to you in real time. It's hard when, like, you put out a video and you're like, did that even register with people? Do they even know what I'm talking about? So hopefully I can do some more lives because I love talking with you guys. I feel like I'm talking into air right now. But here I am. Here I am. Alright. Well, I guess I will end this and maybe go do some TikToks. If you don't follow Code 187 on TikTok, go follow me. There's a lot of like updates. There's also some like funny TikToks that I do. But yeah, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Those are a good place for you guys to see the pictures of the cases, and talk with me more. Like, seriously, if you watch my videos or like at all, contact me. Please just send me an email saying like, hey, I watched your videos and I like this and I don't like this, or whatever. Send me a DM, send me something, because that is the highlight of my world. Please comment on YouTube. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I try to write back to everybody. There are times when I'm like, that comment is either not appropriate or maybe I have nothing to say to it, but I try to respond to every comment, whether it be on the Instagram, the Facebook, or the YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really do. I cannot thank this community enough for just letting me have a voice. It's bigger than you know. It really is. So I appreciate you guys, and I cannot wait to see and do more. All right, this is my first mobile live, so yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.